Okay, so I took this, I sandpapered it, acetoned, everything. Cleaned it. So now we're going to paint it. But before we do that, this is the little kickstands for it. I'm going to put it on the tumbler turner when I actually like put resin on it. But we're going to get that ready. And then we're going to get Scotch tape and tape the bottom. I'm just going to tape alongside that line. And now we're going to use the white to coat this in white. And it is acrylic paint. And I got a 2-inch brush. We're just gonna, whoop. And I'm going to go up and down because I'm going to be making the same brush strokes to make the wood grain with a different brush. And we're probably going to do a second coat. There we go. And we're going to set it on this for about an hour. I'm going to take a break inside and then come out and do a second coat of this. Okay, I moved inside because it's super hot. Sorry, I'll have to listen to Blaze. And sorry my head's cut off, but we're focusing on the tumbler and not me. So now we're going to do our second coat. And the painting process does not have a lot of fumes or doesn't have any fumes. Because we're just messing with paint. Alcohol inks, acrylic paint. So we're good. So when I do the epoxy, I like to do that outside because I don't want to give my daughter any harmful chemicals. Now we're going to let this dry again. And we're going to get started on the wood grain. And we have to reapply another thing of painter's tape. So we're going to let that dry. Can I just give up today? I just give up. I say that, but I'm the kind of person I just keep trying, but I'm just so annoyed. Since I have mostly women on here, I will say, like, tomorrow is that time. My tumbler that I worked on today, apparently I did something wrong and I guess it's called Fisheye. So either I put my hands on it or I didn't seal it. I think it's because I didn't seal it. I didn't spray it with like a clear spray paint, I guess, which I didn't think that would be an issue, because when you see people do tumblers online, they just paint it and do whatever and then put the sealer on it. But people are like, no, you have to seal it with a spray paint. And now I'm confused. So I guess I'm just gonna spray it with sealer or spray paint, I'm just like annoyed that I have to redo a tumbler, and I also have to redo this. But you know, that's life. We gotta redo things in life. I just don't want to do it. I just want to do it one and done. One and done. Just do it once and be done. I just don't want to redo it. I don't care to redo another one, a different one. I just don't want to redo the same one. But that's where I'm at mentally right now. And I'm going to add this to both videos, my Tumblr video and my sewing video, because the frustration, it's two projects that frustrate me all at once. I got good news and I got bad news. Good news, I found out what my problem was and why it would not, or why my resin was not curing to the cup or adhering to the cup. And this seems like a I feel dumb, but just because something has a 5-star review does not mean anything. If you do not see a review at all on the resin for what you intend it to use or intend to use it for, move on to a different product, because this is the resin that I bought. These are like what the things look like. The bottle looks the same. Sorry, it's a little bit messy. This resin, it's meant for coasters. And I've made plenty of coasters with them. So it's a good resin. I'm not saying this is a bad resin. I'm just saying it was not the right one for different things. There are different resins. What kind of got me on this resin hunt was I was watching a video. See how nice and clear this one is? They're a little dusty, but see how nice and clear it is? Sorry if there's fingerprints on it, but clear and clear. So obviously it's a good resin, but it's only for molds. It's not for tumblers. So went back on Amazon, looked at the review for this, and one girl, thank God for her review, there was no reviews of don't use this for tumblers. There was none of that. There was this one girl, me and her bought the product at the same time from my understanding, and she found out it's bad for tumblers because you get this fish eye effect. And I was like, I wish this would have been posted sooner. So this resin is only good for like coasters, jewelry. Like it's specifically just for jewelry, just for molds. I think you can use it on like an ashtray mold, like molding. Get this resin, 100%. Get it, because it's super clear. It's almost foolproof. I only got like 2 or 3 bubbles in my resin, but I was like just pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. Like every single day I'm making new coasters, or I'm making at least 2 new coasters, because you can't set these or leave these in the resin for too long, or you can't leave the resin in the coaster molds for too long, because it will start drying out your mold or your silicone molds. And so after it's like fully hardened, you can take it out, which is like after 8 hours. So I can at least make 2 molds twice a day. Sometimes I left it overnight in the mold so that, I could sleep. But either make 1 a day or just get more molds so you can make more at a time, or at the, highly recommend getting disposable cups. Don't get reusable cups, get disposable cups. So like get disposable solo cups, like the cups that you can, like shot glass type cups, if you're only doing like little molds. It only takes 20 milliliters to make these molds, so you can use a ton, or you can use like these size are like 32 ounces, so altogether it's 64 ounces, but you only need like 20 milliliters or less for each products. And milliliters, if you use 20 milliliters, that's just like right above an ounce, so you just need like a little more than an ounce per pour. And I would honestly just use an ounce. I would just go by ounces and not milliliters, because you know, it's less. That's all I can do for right now until I get more resin. So I'm kind of glad this happened, and I'm kind of bummed though at the same time, because I now have to redo a tumbler, not once, not twice, but a third time. So I'd rather make this mistake than y'all, and that's why we have YouTube, is to share our mistakes. I wish, I left a few comments on a couple of videos saying like my resin just won't stick, and I'm gonna go back on those comments and say, hey, I found out what the mistake was, and say it was just the wrong resin. And I feel like there's a lot of videos, but at the same time it's not the most talked about. So I think with these women that talk about like the resin or how to do your tumblers and stuff, they need to specify that there are a million different resins and epoxies for a million different projects. So that's my number one thing. Choose the right resin, choose the right epoxy, or I don't know if it's the same, I don't know. So with that said, I can now move on with my life, and now I just gotta wait until I get paid, and then I gotta wait on shipping to get the right resin to do a tumbler. But while I do that, thinner, I need to get that now. So I'm kind of waiting on the resin to kind of tack up a little bit. I'm also gonna wait about 4 to 6 hours, because even though I think this resin, it's technically a slow setting resin. What you want, I believe, for metal is a fast curing resin. You want something that's gonna tack up really fast. But I don't know, I'm gonna let this resin kind of sit. I'm probably going to do a second coat, see if I can save the tumbler somehow, and see if I just sand it and do a second coat, if it kind of fixes itself. But I'm still going to order the different resin so that I don't have to do the goal, especially for Etsy and especially for people who sell, or if you want to sell these, like, I want to do as few steps as possible. So if I can get a resin where I just slap it on once or twice without having to do extra work like sanding or prepping or using a sealer or anything like that, the better. So when I get the second resin in, that's clearly, it has reviews and it has a ton of people posting with their tumblers on it, we'll film that. Lesson learned. We can move on. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you have the fisheye look and you've tried everything, you've troubleshooted everything, this is a video for you. It's probably because you have the wrong resin, and I hope this helps. I hope, I am like bummed, but at the same time I'm like, oh, thank God it's not me. You're probably doing all the things right and all the steps right, it's just you have the wrong resin. So I feel confident now in my, tumbler techniques and stuff. It's just I had the wrong resin. So now I can't wait for, the right resin to come in. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.